The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show, a Hoop Ball presentation. My name is Adrian Benjamins, and I'm joined by Neil Rochlani, and this episode is brought to you by Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee Company. Taste the Kona difference. Get some delicious coffee. Head over to hawaiianisles.com and Amazon. Neil, speaking of coffee, I am drinking a cup. I just made myself a cup of coffee for this show because I was about to fall asleep before we started recording this, man. I went to the park so we had to go to a kid's birthday party today in this park, this beautiful park. But I've been chasing my two kids around this playground for like 4 hours in the hot sun. I got home. I was like drained, man. I'm tired. How are you doing?
I'm just thinking those words, hot sun, because it is back to winter here in Chicago. It is 35 degrees and raining, Adrian. It's like that cold rain where you're just like, you just put the hood on top of your jacket, you know, and you just kind of like walk through it. It's just awful. Anyway, I've got to get to fantasy basketball really quickly because, Adrian, I'm learning a very big lesson this week. I was cruising through the Hoop Ball League playoffs thinking, I got this. Finished the season first in the regular season. Won easily last week. I thought the finals might be challenging, but I may be going down in the semifinals, Adrian. Right now, it's 4-4.
Woo!
We are tied in blocks. I have De'Aaron Fox, and he has LeBron James.
Oh.
And I am up by only one in steals. It was 4-3. I was down 3-4 up until about a minute and a half ago, and then De'Aaron Fox got a steal. So I didn't manage as well, but I should probably give credit to the guy I'm playing. I think his name's Zach Bodane, who I've heard many times, but I've actually never met him. Clearly knows what he's doing much more than me because I thought my team was just going to roll, and it is not happening. Anyway, it's a good lesson to learn. I'm still crossing my fingers. De'Aaron Fox, he already has one block tonight. LeBron has 0, so it could happen. We'll see. Anyway, how are you this week?
I'm doing okay. You know, I was in a tough matchup myself in the Hoop Ball Staff League, and major bummer for me. So I came into today with a 5-4 lead. Neil, I stacked my lineup today, meaning I dropped 2 guys who were not playing today for 2 guys that were. I picked up Miles Bridges, that worked out well. I picked up Mario Hezonja, which didn't work out well. So I made sure to have a full lineup for today, for this final day. I was up 5-4. I looked at it right now. I'm down 4-5, and it looks like I'm done. So, Neil, just like you, man, I have some work to do in head-to-head leagues. And, you know, I have to say I really slipped this year as far as maximizing my schedule. I don't want to get too heavy into it. This is probably like a show for like the off season, but I make a spreadsheet for the week. So I see Monday, Tuesday. What I do is I do one column for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I see who's playing each day. And then on the bottom, I'll put the games, the other teams that are playing so that I can check and see like, oh, if I pick up a Cavalier, I'll get 3 extra games from this guy who, like, you know, when you have a guy where you have a full schedule Wednesday and a full schedule Friday, so you're not getting 2 of his games, right? Because he's like your worst guy. Anyways, we got a bunch of games to get into. This is like head-to-head theory that we'll talk about in the offseason. But
well, you can probably teach me because I thought I had not figured out, but I thought I was doing better than I was. So anyway.
Well, long story short, man, I was not really staying on top of that kind of stuff. I really let myself go this season, and I paid the price, man. So,
yeah. I think I'm going to oh, wow. It's really tight in the other league, too. I'm up 7-2 in the other semifinal I'm in, but I have to see I think he has LeBron as well. So I'm going against LeBron in both of those, and I'm barely hanging on in some categories. So we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully I'll get to one championship. All right. Should we go into some box scores, some news and notes? What do we got? Anything?
Let's do it, man. We got quite a few games to go to. I don't really have any news and notes.
Yeah. Kristaps Porzingis will not play this season. I don't think that's news and notes. Hey, I will mention one thing. We're not doing yesterday's game but did you see Doncic go up against Golden State last night? And
triple-double, right?
Yeah, and just
they played some good defense. Played some good defense against Kevin Durant.
Crazy. Yeah. It's a great game. Anyway, let's go on then to tonight's games. My turn, your turn. Do you remember?
I believe it's your turn, but I'm not 100% sure.
All right, I'll start us off. Early game today, Clippers of the Knicks. Tipped off 11 o'clock here, Central Time. Clippers win, as expected, 124-113. Let's see. Let's start with my future favorite player on the Clippers, if not current, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 38 minutes, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 8 assists. Nice night there, 4-4 from the free throw line. Did struggle from the field, 3 of 10. Steal, a block, a turnover. Gallinari, man, if you took roll the dice on him this year and you were able to get him, he's really proven that he can be healthy for a season. Tonight, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 13 of 14 from the free throw line, 3 3-pointers. Did struggle from the field, 5 of 16. Shamet, not much in 14 minutes. Zubac, double-double, 10 and 10 with a block. Patrick Beverley, 30 minutes, kind of a low-end line here, though. 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists on 4-7 shooting, a steal and a block. Lou Williams and Harrell off the bench are doing their things. It's so interesting that the Clippers' 2 best fantasy players all season have been guys off the bench. I don't know what that means, except that I've never seen that before. Lou Williams, 29 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists. And 2 steals, 5 3-pointers. Harrell, 24 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and a block. Anyway, I should double check that. Maybe Gallinari's in the top 2. I'm not sure, but these are 2 of their biggest contributors, and they come off the bench. Anyway, nothing new to take away from here. That's really these guys. Beverly, I guess you can stream if they have. I don't know their schedule off the top of my head. Been running late tonight, but anyway. Are you taking away anything from the Clippers tonight?
Shamet left this game, I believe, in the third quarter due to an ankle injury. So, I want to say, if he misses time, go pick up Lou Williams. But Lou Williams has been balling and is already probably rostered everywhere. So not too much to take away. And, not a lot of change as far as narrative goes for this team. We kind of know who the guys are. Not really too much to say here. I love your take on Gallinari, of course. Man, just as you said, Neil, if you rolled the dice on this guy, if you drafted him, in 9-cat leagues, I'm looking at it right now, he's putting up 3rd round value on the season. And at this point, with just a couple weeks ago in the season, that is the real deal. And I gotta say, Neil, I'm usually a do not draft Gallo guy because I usually play it super safe when it comes to avoiding injury prone players, but he may have changed my mind on that now. All right. I'm going to jump over to the Knicks side, and Dotson has been pretty solid for some time. 18 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 3 on 7 of 16 shooting. He was 3 of 4 from the line. If you streamed Moutier, Neil, I told you earlier that I streamed Hazonia. I could have streamed Moutier, and I picked Hazonia over him, and I'm kicking myself right now. 26 points, 1 steal, 7 assists, 6 rebounds for Moutier. He had 2 threes on 10 of 19 shooting from the field. He was a perfect 4 of 4 from the line. He is definitely taking advantage of no Dennis Smith Jr., no Alonzo Trier in this game as well. So he got some extra run. DeAndre Jordan, 20 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. On 7 of 10 shooting from the field, didn't even hurt you from the line. He was 6 of 7 there. You pretty much couldn't ask for a better line from DeAndre Jordan in this one. Kevin Knox with 11 points, 1 rebound. This was a pretty disappointing game. Did have 2 threes, but 4 and 9 from the field, 1 and 2 from the line. A lot of people streaming Mitchell Robinson, even in just 14 minutes, still gave you the defensive stats you were hoping for, 2 steals and 2 blocks, but you're hoping for more than 2 points. Did have 2 assists and 7 rebounds, so really salvaged this line somewhat if you ended up playing him. Neil, what are your thoughts on the New York Knicks?
Yeah, well, don't be too hard on yourself on the Knicks. It's so hard to know who's going to turn up night to night. I probably would have rolled out with Hazonia only because he can get like a smattering of different categories, and if you need help all across the board, it sometimes works out. Tonight, obviously not. I wish I would have picked him up or Moutier. Those would have helped me in my league, but anyway, nothing to take away. I can't trust any of these guys. DeAndre Jordan, monster night, so good to see him doing that. Kevin Knox, very disappointing night. I don't trust any of these guys down the stretch. Anyway, most leagues, I think we have one more week in. I think New York has just a 2-game week coming up, so not really a streaming option coming up. So I'd avoid Knicks. And that's all I got. So let's go on to the second game here. I've got Cleveland against Milwaukee. Cavs lose 105-127 on the road. Larry Nance gets a start. 30 minutes tonight, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. Nice to see him get 3 steals as well with 2 3-pointers. Chetty Osman fouls out after 33 minutes. So got a lot of minutes, but he's been disappointing a little bit recently. I still think he's going to have ups and downs. I think he's a big candidate for next season, though. I think he's part of this team. Unless they do something like drastically different, I think he's part of this team going forward. 33 minutes, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 of 10 shooting. Kevin Love, 20 points, 19 rebounds. Great night for him. 3 assists, 8 of 21 shooting, 4 3-pointers and a block. Colin Sexton, solid night. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 of 6 from the line, 1 3-pointer, 1 steal. That's really it to speak about. Brandon Knight, really disappointing here. I've been streaming him. Tonight, he did not do much in 22 minutes. Clarkson got his normal line in 35 minutes. Nwaba, 20 minutes. Thompson back playing again, but not starting. I think he's going to be sitting the rest of the season. Unless they sit Love, I guess. That's the one to keep up with. I think if Thompson were to start again, I would think he's worth streaming. He's probably the only one I should mention. Are you targeting these Cavs for your next week if you're around?
I'm pretty much out of it everywhere after this week. So, but I have definitely been depending on Colin Sexton and Cedi Osman. I have quite a few shares of both, and in the Hoopball Staff League, you mentioned how Osman's been down lately. Was really hoping he would come up big this week and hasn't. So, but if I was rolling in the next week, I think I would still just keep him loaded because, as you said, could have a nice week next week or could easily turn things around. He's had a real up and down season, so you kind of got to ride that wave. But that's all I got, man, on the Cavs. Looking forward to seeing them next season and real curious to see where they are in the draft. I mean, if they land a guy like Zion, man, that would totally change things up. But let's see what happens, man. All right, I'm going to jump over on the Bucks. Got to start with Giannis Antetokounmpo, 26 points, 4 blocks with 7 assists, 10 rebounds. He was 11 of 16 from the field. He was 4-6 from the line. Chris Middleton, 17 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, 5 boards, 1 3 on 7 of 15 shooting. He was 2 of 4 from the line. Eric Bledsoe with 12 points, 2 steals, a block, 7 assists, 5 boards, 2 threes. He was 3 of 7 from the field, 4 of 4 from the line. Brook Lopez, who's been playing really well lately, 14 points, a steal, a block, 1 assist, 6 rebounds, 4 threes, man. I feel like he's just been killing it from 3-point range this season. And you love that output from your center spot. It's just so great. 5 of 9 from the field for Brolo. Tony Snell got the start, but we don't trust him. 12 points in 18 minutes. Did have 2 threes and 3 rebounds, but hope you guys are not relying on Tony Snell. Tough to rely on any of these bench guys, although they did get a nice game from George Hill, who had 17 points, and Brown had 12 points. Neil Mirotic is out. Pau Gasol, I think it looks like he's going to miss a month. So keep rolling with your starters. We didn't really trust Pau anyways. What do you think of the Milwaukee Bucks, Neil?
You know, when I first looked at Milwaukee's schedule, I saw they're playing Tuesday, Thursday, so I thought they might be a good streaming team with some of their injuries. But this is a weird week. I don't know if you saw the schedule coming up. Tuesdays and Thursdays are actually busier nights than Mondays and Wednesdays this week. There's only 4 games tomorrow. So I haven't, five games on Wednesday. So it's kind of a weird week for schedule. So you really want to kind of stream Monday, Wednesday this week if you're looking at that. So Milwaukee's not a great option. I was about to say something like pick up a buck. They're playing Tuesday, Thursday. But that's not happening. All right. So really nothing there. Connaughton, 25 minutes. I think he can do a little bit of everything. I saw 2 steals tonight, a 3-pointer, 9.7 rebounds. So nothing great, but can kind of help you in every little category. Maybe not assists. All right. On to the next game. Denver gets crushed in Indiana. 88-124. This league is sometimes so hard to predict. Jokic, 19 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists on 8 of 16 shooting. 4 blocks and a steal. He has been just fantasy gold this season. Paul Millsap plays 27 minutes. Not much of a line tonight. Just 6 points and 5 rebounds. A steal, a 3-pointer. Will Barton plays 24 minutes, but 15 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 3-pointers. Gary Harris, another quiet night, unfortunately. 11 points on 5 of 6 shooting, but otherwise not much else. A block, a rebound, an assist. Jamal Murray quiet as well on 2 of 12 shooting. Did have 5 assists and a steal. You know, I'm streaming Mason Plumlee this week because Denver had 4 games. He did get me a block. Only scored 4 points, though. 3 rebounds and just 3 rebounds. I thought I'd do a little better in those 2 categories. Adrian, I thought this was going to be a blowout the other direction. So I thought Mason Plumlee might get like 18 to 20 minutes tonight. Even when they got blown out, they didn't play him at the end. I guess he's such a key part of this rotation. They threw in guys like Lyles and Vanderbilt and Hernan Gomez. So this one of those games you kind of throw away from the Nuggets from a reality perspective. Not much taking away fantasy-wise either. I think Plumlee can be streamed if you need blocks and rebounds. Just had a rough night tonight. Any thoughts on the Nuggets?
Just as you said, I thought it was really strange that, we saw Lyles and Vanderbilt, Hernan Gomez get minutes here. These aren't guys that got 0 minutes, I believe, in the last game. And so just as you said, Neil, I'm not even going to try to read too much into it. I think the blowout factor we saw some really odd things. And this team's really tough to gauge just because they have so many good guys from night to night that can go off. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Celtics, where some nights it could be Tatum and Brown, and other nights it's like Horford or somebody else. It's like the same thing with the Nuggets. Harris can go off on any night, or Barton, or maybe it's Murray. So this team's real tough. But yeah, anyways, bad night for the Nuggets, and I'm going to take a look at the Pacers. Okay, let's look over on the Indiana side, and I got to start with Bogdanovich, who has just been scoring the ball fantastic this season. 35 points, a steal, 3 assists, 6 rebounds. How is this for being efficient? 5 of 6 from 3-point range. 13 of 16 from the field, and 4 of 4 from the line. A great scoring game, as usual, from Bogdanovich. Miles Turner, this was nice. 17 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, shot 7 of 15 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line. Thaddeus Young had a nice game, an okay game. He had 8 points, 2 steals, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. He shot 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. Corey Joseph got the start for Darren Collison, who missed this game, but Joseph did not do too much. Only 2 points. The 4 steals is nice, but only 2 points, 3 assists in 24 minutes. Wes Matthews with 8 points, 5 assists, 2 threes on 3 of 7 shooting. Off the bench, Sabonis put up a nice game. In just 23 minutes, he had 15 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 7 of 13 from the field. Not much else to talk about, though, on this team. What do you think of the Pacers, Neil?
Pacers are good. I remember kind of writing them off when Oladipo went down, and I thought they would definitely fall into the back half of the Eastern Conference, not really kind of out of the picture. I guess we can't do that anymore with them. I mean, they're hanging on to 4th place in the Eastern Conference. They have a chance to get 3rd. And they just beat Denver. They crushed them. So this is a team I guess you can't write off. I hope you start Sabonis. I'm sure you did. Although yes. I guess he has been back and tearing it up. Aaron Holiday, I know you talked about him earlier this season. He had a pretty nice game here in 19 minutes. I think he's someone to target next season. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be worth. He got a lot of run tonight because of the blowout factor. So not much else here. Corey Joseph, very disappointing if you try to stream him. All right, on to the next game here. Charlotte against Toronto. Another upset here. Charlotte wins 115 to 114. Let's see. Kemba Walker, 3 of 17 shooting, but did put up 13 assists and 15 points, 8 rebounds, 7 of 7 from the line, 2 3-pointers, 4 steals. As you mentioned, Adrian, Miles Bridges, great pickup, 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 assist. Biyombo, not much. Marvin Williams, not much. Lamb even kind of struggled tonight. It was really Kemba Walker distributing Bridges, and then Dwayne Bacon had a nice night here in 33 minutes. Took 14 shots, made 5 3-pointers. Seems pretty much like a points and 3 guy, but maybe worth a look if Batum's going to be out extended time, and this is his role. And then off the bench, Guillermo Hernandez, 20 minutes, double-doubles, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. I don't know if I'm going to stream any of these guys. I think looking at Charlotte's schedule, they only have a 3-game week. They go Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, so maybe on the back weekend if you want to pick them up for Friday and Sunday. I think Bacon would be the one I'd want to stream, especially 3-pointers. You need that category. Any thoughts on Charlotte?
I like your take on Bacon, and also just in case, guys, I think Miles Bridges. I think you got to make sure that this guy's roster. He's been playing really well, and we're not exactly sure yet if the Hornets are tanking because they are still alive for that 8th spot. They're 2 games out of that 8th seed, but I think the moment it's they're officially out, I think they're really going to hand the reins off to some of these youngsters like Bridges and Monk and Bacon. So, like your take on grabbing Bacon, make sure Bridges is owned, and then lastly, man, I'm going to give Kemba a pass for tonight. I believe he's coming off a back-to-back. Had a killer night the other game against the Celtics. He played outstanding. So I'm going to kind of give him a pass in this one. And that's pretty much all I got, man. I'm going to jump over to the Toronto side. Is that right? Toronto?
That's correct.
Toronto, man. I love talking about Pascal Siakam. One of my favorite NBA stories this year is the emergence of Siakam. What a great player, and 23 points, a steal, a block, 5 assists, 7 rebounds, 1 3, 9 of 14 shooting from the field, 4-4 from the line. I'm not even mad that he had 5 turnovers. Kawhi Leonard doing his thing. Happy to see him playing at such an important time of the year. 28 points, 2 blocks, 3 assists, 9 rebounds, 2 threes on 10 of 18 shooting from the field. He was 6 of 6 from the line. Kyle Lowry, 7 points, 1 block, 1 steal, 6 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 3, 3 of 5 from the line, 1 of 3 from downtown. 3 of 5 from the field. Just happy that this guy avoided major injury earlier in the week when he went down. So happy that he's healthy and playing. And Neil, I've been rolling with Danny Green for some time, so he was bound to finally he was bound to hurt me eventually, and that time came tonight, man. 2 points, did have a steal and 2 blocks, so I'll take some defensive stats, but 2 assists, 4 rebounds, 0 threes, only shot 1 of 5 in 27 minutes. So not great offensive game from him. Marc Gasol, happy to see this line from him. 17 points with 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Also gave you 3 blocks and a steal, 2 threes, shot very efficient, 7 of 9 from the field, 1 of 1 from the line. It's a great game from him. I know a lot of people picked up Van Vliet, and he still was serviceable tonight. 12 points, 3 assists, 5 boards, 2 threes on 5 of 9 shooting. Ibaka, this is a bummer, man. Kind of taking a backseat to Marc Gasol. Only 10 points, 1 rebound, shot 4-6 from the field, 2-2 from the line. And not too much else to talk about here. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Toronto Raptors?
Well, I'm glad they're all healthy again. I'm glad they're Lowry's back. He looks like they're going to try to just all play together before the playoffs. I imagine maybe they'll rest a couple games in April, a few games on the stretch, but by and large, I think they're going to play to try to make sure they're all the chemistry's there for the playoffs. So I think you can trust these guys for the next week. And sometimes we've seen a lot of rest and a lot of shutdowns. Hopefully, Lowry is not going to rest anymore. He's back for good. We know Siakam's been just like the Energizer Bunny out there, man. He's just all over the place. Has played so many minutes. Led the team again tonight with 36 minutes. Leonard's playing a lot. So, yeah, not much else to say here except I think you can trust these guys. Van Fleet, yeah, I only like him. We both talked about this. When Lowry's out or when Leonard's out, I like him. Otherwise, I kind of stay away from him. All right, next game I got here, Houston 113, New Orleans 90. Houston, James Harden didn't get to 30 tonight, but he has been killing it, as we all know. 6 3-pointers, a steal, a block, 28 total points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Chris Paul, a nice double-double, gets the 13 assists, what he's known for, and the 5 steals. This guy can still do it defensively and offensively, maybe the consummate point guard of his generation. PJ Tucker, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 4 of 6 from the field, 2 steals. He's been not fantasy relevant, in my opinion, all season. Eric Gordon comes back, plays 21 minutes, gets 18 points, 6 3-pointers, and a steal and 2 blocks. Nice to see that. Capella, 17 rebounds and no blocks tonight. It's unfortunate if you owned him for that. Daniel House, we talked about him as a streaming candidate. He had a few good games in a row, had a couple regressions. He's back to a decent game here, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 5 of 6 shooting, 4 3-pointers, and a steal. I still think he's worth owning. Adrian Kenneth Fareed is back, 11 points, 11 rebounds. I am not trusting this. It was a blowout against New Orleans. As we know, Anthony Davis, as you'll get to, did not play all that many minutes. So I am not going to jump on Fareed. I think House is the safer one to stream if his category stats fits your needs. What are your thoughts on the Rockets?
I like your take. If you're gonna stream House, and I too am not trusting Manimal. So I do not be fooled, you guys. Not too much else to talk about. It's the usual suspects for the Rockets. And you know what, Neil? I'm going to go off topic for one quick second. Want to ask you, looks like a no-brainer that James Harden is going to finish as the number 1 player for fantasy. I'm actually currently looking at 9 category rankings. Neil, next year, you have the number 1 pick. Are you going to take James Harden with your number 1 pick?
That's a great question. So I'm thinking 8 category. So turnovers. 9 category, I think it's going to be tougher. 8 category, I think it's a no-brainer. I think you take Harden. Unless something happens the offseason that, changes some dynamics. Yeah, I think it's Harden.
Nice.
9 category, are you going to take him too? Let's go, because you're more of a 9 category guy, right?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, I am more of an 8 category guy. I just tried to focus on 9 category because so many people, I feel like the general majority of fantasy leagues are 9 category.
Yeah.
I myself love 8 categories because I think turnovers are such a buzzkill. But anyways, that's a whole nother show. That's like a whole nother topic we get into. But, just the fact that even with the bad turnovers, and yes, he is a bad turnover, that is a major problem. He's still in first place, Neil, for 9 category leagues. So even with that category killing him, still the number 1 player in 9 cat leagues. So I am, even in 9 cat leagues, I probably still look with him. I guess the only thing that's questioning for me is Anthony Davis. Like,
right.
Do the Pelicans, does he get traded? If so, is he going to land in a favorable position? Because I think we can honestly say if we knew that Anthony Davis was going to get good minutes and usage, he probably would be the number 1 player picked. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I wonder how, I didn't think Harden could keep it up again this year, all the scoring and the getting to the line so much. I thought, teams would get a little smarter with how they defend him. And because he's so crafty, right, to get to the line. And he finds ways to draw fouls. And I thought teams would just get really smart about that this season. And it didn't happen. Either that or they did, and he got even smarter. I don't know. So, but yeah, I think Harden is where I'd have to go with A category, no doubt. 9 cat, I would have to think about it. I think let's assume Davis goes to the Lakers, like, kind of what we're expecting. One possibility. That's going to be so interesting because I think he still could be the number 1 option next to LeBron. Like I think he's still
like
be the
that.
number 1. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I like that. And you guys, there's going to be plenty of what to do in the first round in the offseason. So I apologize for taking us a little bit off course here. Let's jump back into the box scores. I think I'm up on the Pelicans now. We just finished touching on the Rockets. So you guys, I hope you picked up Frank Jackson. He's been playing pretty good. I don't think we're going to see Drew Holiday back. That's just a guess. That's totally my opinion. But we heard that Drew Holiday was going to miss 7 to 10 days and get evaluated. I think we've already been past that window and we haven't heard a single thing. And at this point, I think they likely are just going to shut him down. So go make sure Frank Jackson is rostered in leagues because he's playing pretty good. 19 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. He had 3 threes. 7 of 16 from the field, 2 of 3 from the line. Peyton didn't have it going in this one, but he's been playing pretty good. 4 points. He had 8 assists, 1 steal, 4 rebounds, 2 of 8 from the field. Did have 5 turnovers, so that kind of hurt. Julius Randle, I think, has been rock solid. Was just okay in this one. 15 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 6 of 13 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line. Davis, happy that he's just in there giving you something. So I'll take the double-double in just 21 minutes, 12 points, 10 rebounds, a steal, a block, 1 assist.
Okay, so let's take a look at the Pelicans bench. I don't really trust the bench, guys. I do think if eventually Anthony Davis or some of these other starters get shut down, maybe we can take a look at Okafor or Diallo. But at this point, I'm not trusting it, or I'm not going to make a move on it until we see that happen. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Pelicans?
You talked about Frank Jackson. I don't know how long ago it was, but it was a great call. He's been rock solid ever since getting that starting job. I think you're right about Drew Holiday never coming back. So I shouldn't say never, but not this season. And then that's really not trusting anyone else on this team. At some point when Davis gets shut down, I'm assuming he will get shut down before the last that silly season, last couple games of the season. And then maybe you look at a center like Okafor. But until then, not picking him up. All right, on to the next game. San Antonio against Boston. The Spurs go in and just wax the Celtics here. Another nice road win, 115-96. LaMarcus freaking Aldridge, 48 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 20 of 31.
Wow.
That's got to be a record for him on attempts. 7 of 8 from the free throw line, a three-pointer. Just bonkers. DeRozan, good night, but quiet by relatively speaking. 16 points, 11 assists, 8 of 18 shooting, 2 blocks. Portal gets a start. Does put up 10 rebounds, but not much else. 6 points, and I did have 2 blocks. So nice for that category. Bryn Forbes, Derek White, not doing anything. It was all LaMarcus Aldridge. Rudy Gay back to the bench, just 22 minutes tonight. He was someone who he's had some good games, some bad games. He's really, I guess, a matchup guy for Popovich. He has to trust the Popovich, but I think he's only going to play him. He's going to go for the matchups tonight. 7 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. So I still trust Rudy Gay. I just not smart enough to know the matchup. So when he's going to play a lot and when he's not, that's really it. Portal, I don't really trust him still, even though he got 25 minutes tonight. Are you changing your mind on him or anyone else on the Spurs because of this box score?
I'll tell you what, man, where my mind's kind of getting changed is I thought Derek White was locked and loaded for the rest of the year, and I'm starting to doubt that idea, man. And I know as soon as I give up on him, though, he's going to likely flip the switch and start balling. So I'm just going to hang on to Derek White. But yeah, Jakob Poeltl, just the usage is so low. I wish he took more shots in this offense. But I'll be honest with you, in a lot of leagues, I'd be happy with 2 blocks and 10 rebounds, like in my last roster spot. But in most of my standard leagues, I'm not really trusting Poeltl. And, yeah, that's all I got. Aldridge, wow. And, man, Neil, I'm, like, shocked that DeRozan does not take a single 3. Every time we look at the Spurs, like, you would think by now it's like, hey, this guy just doesn't shoot threes, right? Where, no, I'm like, man, DeRozan did take a 3. Oh, yeah, he's not a 3-point shooter. But I just, like, shocked that he's, like, such a big offensive player and just doesn't shoot from 3-point range at all. Like, doesn't even try. It's crazy, man. It just surprises me every single time we look at the box score. And one day I'll finally just accept the fact that it's not going to happen. Anyways, let's jump over to Boston. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, which is night to night, a different guy. Tonight, they spread the offense around very evenly. Hey, Gordon Hayward, hello. 13 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 of 11 shooting from the field, 5 of 5 from the line. Nice to see him show a pulse. Kyrie Irving, 11 points, 12 assists, 2 steals, a block. Marcus Smart with 14 points and assists, 4 rebounds, 1 3 on 6 of 14 shooting from the field. That is serviceable. Marcus Morris with a decent line here, 13 points, a steal, 2 assists, 6 rebounds. It was Baines getting the start for Horford, and 9 points and 8 boards for him. Don't really trust him too much. Jaylen Brown, who had a big game the other night, kind of came back down to earth in this one. Only 7 points in 25 minutes. Not much else here. Neil, one of the really interesting things before I shoot it over to you is I believe the Celtics, this is a back-to-back loss. I think they lost the other night against Charlotte. And, man, it just when I see them, their demeanor looks so low. Like Kyrie Irving has his head down, shaking his head. Like it's, I don't know, man. It just, a lot of people think that the Celtics can just flip a switch and turn it on in the playoffs. That might be so, but I'm just really surprised by how up and down the Celtics have been. What do you think of Boston, Neil?
Yeah, they did lose back-to-back. They lost actually 3 in a row. If you go back to Philly. I don't know about before that. I'll have to go back and check the schedule. But, yeah, they have been on a slump. I don't think they can flip the switch. I think the East is too good this year. They're not going to – if they don't get the chemistry going tonight, it was just a blowout at home. They're going to be done in the second round, so if not earlier. Don't know what to say about them except I think Brad Stevens is trying to figure out what to do with his lineup. Tatum was out tonight, so we should talk about that. Yeah. So that probably played a role in it. But yeah, they've lost a few games here, and it is not looking good for them. Hayward, I assume, will go back to the bench once Tatum's back. Yeah, do you have any news on that, or did you add?
Great. You know what? I should say that's a really great point. Tatum, Horford, 2 really giant pieces of their team they missed. So, I guess it's not that bad of a loss when you're missing 2 main guys like that.
Yeah. It's still, though, bad though because it's just you got like you said, the guys are just not having fun, and it's hard to turn that on in the playoffs. Anyway, let's see. One more completed game as of this very moment. Detroit beats. They lose to Golden State 114-121. They aren't the Mavericks. On the Detroit side, let's see. Wayne Ellington, someone who he's been lighting it up from 3-point land tonight. Did not happen. 1 3-pointer. Did have 2 steals though, but not much else. 3 points, 3 assists. Andre Drummond, 12 points, 11 rebounds, 2 steals, no blocks. Blake Griffin, he's been solid all season long. Another guy I tend to avoid because I'm worried about injury. He's been healthy most of the season. 24 points tonight, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 9 attempts from the line, 3 3-pointers. Bruce Brown Jr., not trusting him. Reggie Jackson had one of his off games, just 7 points and 2 assists. Ish Smith actually got more minutes off the bench here, 27 minutes. He had a decent line, 14 points, 4 assists, 4 from the line. Not much else to talk about here. Luke Kennard, I should mention. Talk about future players. This guy could get in there next year, 28 minutes. 8 of 12 from the field, 3 3-pointers, 2 steals, 20 points, 3 rebounds. I'm not trusting him this season, but maybe the last week of the season, if they go really silly and give him a lot of looks, he can be trusted. But someone to keep an eye out for next season. No other thoughts on the Pistons? What do you think?
Oh, man, I have no thoughts on the Pistons. I don't want to talk about the Pistons. No, love your take on Blake, man. He just what really surprises me is his assists, had 8 of them tonight, and how he's changed his game. He can shoot from downtown now. He's 3 threes tonight. He's been pretty consistent from 3-point range all year, and I don't know, man. Maybe this is a guy. I don't think I'll ever be a big Blake Griffin guy, Neil, but I do maybe need to change my, he's usually like a do not draft guy for me, and maybe I need to change that. Although, 9 category leagues, he is just returning 5th round value. So maybe that's probably where I'll value him for next year, is about there. And somebody usually takes him before that point. Okay, not much else to talk about for the Pistons. I'm going to go ahead jump over to the Warriors, who tough loss the other night, but bounced back in this one. Klay Thompson, 24 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 4 threes on 10 of 17 shooting from the field. Kevin Durant with a nice game, 14 points, a steal, 11 assists, 5 boards, 1 3 on 5 of 6 shooting from the field. He was 3 of 4 from the line. Steph Curry was doing his thing. 26 points, 3 assists, 9 boards, 1 steal, 5 threes on 9 of 19 shooting from the field. He was 3 of 3 from the line. Draymond Green, 14 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 3, 5 of 11 shooting from the field, 3 of 4 from the line. Bogut got the start. He had 8 points, 3 assists, 3 blocks, 5 boards on 4 of 5 shooting from the field. What can we say? No Cousins. I believe Kerr said we will not see Cousins in any back-to-back games, or at least one game of a back-to-back set. So let's see. Not much else to talk about here. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Warriors?
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why Cousins was a tough one to stash, because you knew he was not going to play back-to-backs, or he'll get some rest down the stretch. Bogut was someone I should have picked up. The 3 blocks were huge. Would have really helped me. Anyway, I think when Cousins is not going, I know Bogut isn't a great option, but would you rather have Bogut or Portal if you had to pick the 2?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Man. It's pretty even. I guess I might lean Pirtle just because. Oh man! I don't
if you knew they were both playing, let's say they were both, like, Bogut was in and Cousins was out, so Bogut was starting. Yeah, I don't know.
Even it is so even because both guys, like Bogut has to, he's got to compete with all those guys ahead of him for usage, and then Pirtle's kind of in the same boat because his usage rate is so low. He's like such a small part of that offense. Like, their numbers are going to be really similar. Like, I'm basically expecting some boards, like 8 boards, to go along with maybe 1 or 2 blocks, and then low scoring numbers like 6 points or something. So, gun to my head, I guess I'll say Pirtle, but I couldn't blame you if you wanted to go Bogut.
Yeah, it's tough. I think Bogut's a better blocker, but he's so old. You know, I don't. It's more about like positioning than it is athleticism at this. You know, so I don't know who I would take. I don't think I'd
it is really even. It is really even.
If I
oh man, yeah, it is so
he's the
hard.
only guy who's probably out there that's worth picking up. I mean, not picking up, but thinking about, right? Because obviously the big 5 are all taken. And so there's really no one else here that I trust. And maybe you roll the dice on Bogut when you know Cousins is out. But yeah, it could be a complete dud. Tonight he salvaged it with the 3 blocks, and he sometimes gets a few assists, so it can help you there in the field goal percentage. But it's very low end.
Man, what a disappointment Jordan Bell has been. I thought Jordan Bell was going to really take a step forward and be like a low-end fantasy big man. And he's just, I mean, you can't even roster him in any league, except maybe if you're holding him in some deep dynasty league. But I just really thought that we would see him emerge, and now it's just like not even an idea. So, I don't know. It's a bummer, man.
Yeah. He had big expectations this season. You know, in that low like teens last year, thought maybe he would get the starting job coming this season with Cousins rehabilitating. It just never developed. But I would say I wouldn't give up on him. You know, maybe next season it takes another season for him to get better. So maybe he's going to be good next year. All right, that is all the games so far that have concluded. So I feel like the Celtics tonight. I'm just like stumbling through my way trying to get to the end of the season here on the box score breakdown all over the place. Anyway,
we are limping to the finish line, Neil, but we're gonna make it, man. If I gotta carry you across the, no, I'm just kidding. We're gonna make it together, man. Leave no man behind. Hey, you guys, is it championship week? I wouldn't know because I'm knocked out of all my leagues, of course.
It is championship week. I am
okay.
Going for one. You know what? I've been checking my scores throughout this, which is another reason why I'm so distracted. And first of all, I misspoke. I'm not going against LeBron James in my hoopball league. I'm going against him in another league. So I'm so confused, Adrian. I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to advance in either one. I'm really nervous, so I can't even
my fingers are crossed for you, Neil. I hope you make it. And you guys, so a big week ahead. I'm excited. So stick with us, you guys. Thank you for listening, supporting the show. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit Neil up at Ball with Neil. You can hit me up at Adrian Benjamins. It's good. As I said, it's going to be a big week. Neil and I want to knock it out of the park for you guys. So I'm out of here. Neil will be back for one more game, and we will be back tomorrow night. Thank you guys so much.
All right, on to the last game of the evening. The Kings go down to the Lakers, who I thought were tanking, but clearly not well enough. The Lakers win 111 to 106. LeBron played more minutes than I expected tonight. He played 29 minutes. Anyway, start with the Kings side. De'Aaron Fox does not hit double digits in anything, but has a spectacular night defensively. 6 steals on the evening to go along with his 9 points and a smattering of other stats. Sorry, my page just froze up here. 9.6 rebounds, 4 assists. Just shot 3 of 16 horribly there. They go 2 of 2 from the line, 6 steals, as I mentioned, and a block. Buddy Hield had a nice line here, 18.6 rebounds, 3 assists. He also did not shoot well, 6 of 21 from the field. Did have 5 3-pointers. Barnes, not much in a starting role. Cauley Stein, 10 points, 9 rebounds. Bielitsa, someone I've been streaming, played 20 minutes tonight. Very low-end streamer. A steal, 2 assists, 6 rebounds, 8 points, not much, but sometimes got a block as well. Let's see. Off the bench, Bagley. This guy is going to be a stud. 36 minutes tonight, 25 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 10 of 9 shooting, 10 of 19. Excuse me. That does not make sense. 10 of 9. He did struggle from the free throw line, 3 of 8 from there, 2 3-pointers, a steal, and a block. Bogdanovich, disappointing year, but tonight was pretty decent. 30 minutes, 17 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists on 6 of 12 shooting. Steal, a block. Let's see. Is Bogdanovich, if he's not owned, I think he could be streamed, but he probably owned at every league. Bielitsa, the one guy you may want to look at. Let's look at the Kings' schedule here. I don't think it's all that favorable. I take that back. It is pretty favorable. They have 4 games next week: Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Again, Tuesday and Thursday are kind of the bigger nights this week. So your lineups may already be full, but Kings do play 4 games. So they are a team to look at, especially on the back half of the week. They play Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So 3 and 4. Look for a King to stream there. On the Lakers front, LeBron, as I mentioned, got 29 minutes and 35 minutes, 29 points. Misread that. Thought he was restricted to 28 minutes, 26 minutes, or that was the plan. Anyway, I guess they want to win for the home team, for their home crowd. 35 minutes again, 29 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, 9 22 shooting, 8 of 9 from the free throw line. That is a nice night from him there. 3 3-pointers, 2 steals, and a block. Does it all as usual. JaVale McGee, he has been playing very well on the stretch, especially against teams that do not do well against centers. Like Brooklyn last week, tonight against Sacramento, 17 points, 14 rebounds, 8 of 8 from the field, 5 blocks, and a steal. Phenomenal fantasy line from him. Caldwell Pope has been filling up as of late as well. 16 points tonight, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Did struggle, 5 of 15 from the field, but knocked down 4 3-pointers. Rondo, there's a struggle. 9 assists, not much else. And Kuzma, he's been such a prolific scorer. 29 points tonight, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 10 of 22 from the field, 5 3-pointers himself, and a block. Stevenson plays 25 minutes off the bench. Caruso, someone that might have been, someone to be streamable, had a couple of games. Just 18 minutes tonight. I think if they want to win, which clearly they tried to tonight and succeeded, he does not play. Maybe on road games they tank more, and so they let Caruso get more of a run, and he has some fantasy relevancy. Let's see what the Lakers have coming up in their schedule. They've got, again, 4 games for them this week, so a good streaming team there. 2 on the road, Wednesday, Sunday, and then 2 at home, Tuesday, Friday. So Caruso, I guess if you're desperate, you get 4 games out of him. But I think at home they might just try to win. Maybe the odds don't matter that much. They win one here or there. And they're going against some pretty weak teams at home, Washington and Charlotte. Although Charlotte just beat Toronto. Anyway, on the road, they're at Utah, which I assume is going to be a loss. And then they're at New Orleans, which can go either way, I guess, at this point. New Orleans is trying to lose, so I'm assuming the Lakers, we'll see how they play it out. Anyway, they have a 4-game week, so looking to streaming some of these Lakers. Caruso, Caldwell Pope might be out there. I've been streaming him. Usually pretty good with the threes. Sometimes gets a steal or 2. Tonight got 7 rebounds. That is not going to be consistent. He's averaging just 2.7 on the year, so tonight was an anomaly. But he's had some big scoring nights, so you can count on you might get lucky with some threes. All right, that is going to do it for the Box Score Breakdown show for this evening, March 24th. Thanks again for listening. We are sponsored by Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee. Find their products at hawaiianisles.com or on amazon.com. And Adrian, I'll be back tomorrow.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.